welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in the Shadow Empire. Nice commenter on YouTube reminded me of a new feature, which is the blueprint feature that you can use to sort of look at all the stats, all the options on things like aircraft, sort of in parallel. So I'm basically going to do a quick once-over on the aircraft. You can see how some things have changed, or how we can do some new options with our current equipment. So right now, our current, say, ultralight aircraft are something like this, right? We've got recon, ultralight propeller engine, tiny, with a fuel tank of 8 liters, or 800 liters. And it's got about a hex range, right? So we can play around a little bit with the options so we can see, okay, so in this case, it needs tiny wings, can't do more fuel, could do less fuel, right? But then that's going to shorten the range, right? So basically for that, what we had was basically the base we're going to get anyway. But we could upgrade it to a light jet engine. We throw some more fuel on it. And play around with things like the wing size. We can get something like this where we're going to get a 12 hex range ultralight aircraft with a light jet engine. So this is probably what we're going to end up upgrading the ultralight aircraft to when I have time and interest. And we'll do basically the same for light aircraft. This is the thing that I hook up with AA weapon and air-to-air weapon, in this case the HMG. This is a light aircraft, so we're going to do something like a medium engine. Again, we're going to do something like very small engines. And we'll try to sort of find the best X range here for what we've got. So we get 8 on 300 liters. Very small wings. We throw the bigger engine on. Is that going to give us more range? Not really. So we'll probably end up doing something like that for a light aircraft. Oh, this should be a fighter. Or, yeah, this should be a fighter. And then at some point we'll want medium aircraft, which will be fighter bombers. We now have access to rockets. We can do something like this. Some very small rockets. We'll do medium jet here to support the fact that we now got some payload on the ship. We can play around a little bit with the options here to get something that's viable. 3 hexes is not really enough range. I need to take the rockets down a level. Oh, maybe it's not a rocket, I think it's might just be maxing these out of 3 hexes at the moment. If you go very small rockets, we can get. Maybe that works. Nope, we'll stick on the. Is that medium heavy? Yeah, that'll probably be what we go at the next medium aircraft. If that's something that will actually do ground attack. The helicopters, to be fair, are probably a little bit more interesting for what we're going to do. So we were running something like this for the current one, and that three range hex wasn't doing it super well. But we can get something a little bit better if we just use a bigger rotor. Right, 6 range hex on the light recon helicopter won't be too bad. For the medium, we can go ahead and give the medium one some guns. And the heavy helicopter will probably be the one that we're actually going to use for ground attack roll. Where we can do something like heavy weapons, big guns, get the big engines, and get something decent range-wise. This would be a very effective ground attack helicopter. So that's sort of seeing the blueprint. We may revisit this when it comes time to actually do some upgrades. The other thing the commenter brought up is sort of a reminder on administrative strain. It's not too bad right now. Right now we're sitting around at about minus 10%, which is caused by having the zones control assets far away from the zone. So for example, we got the oil well out here. We do have these supply bases out here that are pretty far out. That's giving us a minor administrative strain. That is something I should probably pay attention to and keep on top of. Because right now it's not that bad. Minus 10% is not that bad. But if it gets more than like minus 20%, we're going to have a problem. And it goes up in waves of 10. This recycling one out here is also sort of contributing to a bit. But it's going to run out eventually. And most of the civilian stuff we can kind of sort of ignore. It's either close enough in or it's low enough level that's not a problem right now. And otherwise, we should basically be at the end of the turn. We are working on constructing some stuff, so we're just finished high-tech industry, just in synthetic fuel. So that should have solved our water and high-tech parts problems. Working on nuclear power plants, we may, well, hopefully we don't end up with a power problem. Hopefully the nuclear power plant will get finished in time. But with that, I think it is time to actually roll the turn, because we ended the video at the end of the turn, but we went over a couple things before we actually got going on this part. So this end turn should hopefully be mostly boring. I think we've got enough of a battle line. The arachnids at this point are not too much of a threat. Individually, the individual arachnid models are pretty scary. But I think most of their units are pretty small model count-wise. Conversely, we've got lots of sort of more moderate quality models in our units. Which is maybe the reason the arachnids are not being super aggressive. Waiting for the intern to roll over. I think once we've dealt with the arachnids, we are still going to probably try to do diplomacy with Zalgan's horde here, because they look friendly enough that they'll do diplomacy with us. The other theocracy, I think, is not gonna play ball. We might be able to keep them from declaring on us, but the Dessau Reich here is probably not gonna play ball and give us our victory back. But probably convince them to at least be peaceful while we get our industry and such finally sorted out. But I think we're mostly at the point where I can probably start focusing more on army and less on industrial expansion. And we got that guy over there being a problem. 3 decisions, probably not super big decisions. We found a fuel deposit, which we probably don't need. Hydroponics robotization. And we got our laser troops. That was a unit I made with laser rifles. You're asking for subsidy. We have the money, so we'll give it to you. Yeah, focus mostly on research. I suppose what I can do is I can go ahead and make that helicopter we're talking about. Yeah, there we go. Borrow the one we've already designed. Blueprinted.
Copy that.
For our attack helicopter. Don't think we necessarily have the firepower to deal with these guys. We can try.
All clear, sir.
Oh, there wasn't that many of them. Okay. So we do have the firepower to deal with them. I'm not liking how much energy we spend over the intern. That's probably the high-tech power plant, or the high-tech factory turning on. Where is it? I'm gonna turn it down. There we are. Yeah, it pulled 1.2. Yeah, that about counts for it. That's about the discrepancy there. Okay, so that's easy to partially solve. We'll tell it, hey, we want you running. No, we don't need you running at 100% bore. We'll turn you down to 25% speed. That's probably not going to be alone enough to fix the power problems, so we're probably going to actually have some power problems. But, which means I really should build anything. It should not build anything that isn't making more power. Expand the solar power plant. Could expand the servitization, or build a servitization plant as well, which I think I will do.
Copy that.
Expand the solar. Probably going to overcommit on fixing the power because I'm building 3 power plants at the same time.
Copy that.
But hopefully that'll mean that I can turn everything on, get them running at full speed later. So you're one of the local guys, local mercs. I don't need to worry about you. And supply. Right now, this is... I should probably do diplomacy with him before I forget. This guy is fairly friendly with us. Already trading with him, already have an embassy with him. Could set up free trade. Let's send friendship back.
Affirmative.
I think the other one is less friendly. Yeah, they're still in blackmail territory. Which isn't stopping us necessarily from rolling. Like, if I got a Shadow Diplomat, we could do a Shadow Diplomat deploy. Maybe pass something.
Affirmative.
Do we have a non-aggression pact? That'd actually probably be a good thing to get, would be a non-aggression pact. That's in the realm of passable.
Affirmative.
It failed, but that was the better end to fail. We probably... Oh, actually, I know where I should play this. We should play...
Aye, aye, sir.
Darn. No more archaeological sites. So we got... On this end, we kind of have the problem that we've pushed up next to a bunch of low mountains. Which I suppose in the long run are maybe not the best thing to be chasing the arachnids into. But at the same time, it's not very appropriate terrain for our motorized vehicles here. can kind of see, at least with the basic default graphics, one of the problems you can run into. So the plains rocky here and the plains rocky here kind of don't have enough contrast with the low mountain here. But there's a bit of low mountain there. There's a bit of low mountain here as well. Can we merge those two? One looks a bit small, and the other one looks like it has space. Yeah, let's merge them. Where did the rest of my tanks go? I feel like I didn't move all the tanks. Okay, now we got all the tanks together. Probably tried to break out through here. Here's the champion. Champion shown back up again. Big, scary, single model. Versus these guys, which are... To be fair, I think there's 4 models there, but that's a lot less scary than the lone champion. Okay, so it looks like... I may be wrong about it, but it looks like I have moved enough guys in the rough area that I can start moving first infantry north. I'll have them push into the mountain because they're foot infantry and like the motorized and tanks. And yeah, we're probably gonna have a light brownout on the next turn. Maybe not the best. Do something like that to give these guys some supply to back up these guys pushing west. We don't really have the political power to do more diplomacy with the aliens, try to get more mercs off of them, and or to make the mercs better. We're running on power, so I should not really do any other industrial expansion. Could probably deploy another brigade. So let's actually contemplate raising another brigade. So we want a brigade with a new HQ. What I'm thinking about is a foot grenadier. Can we get foot grenadier? Probably researched. There it is, the first one, obviously. I'm not going to do siege because the foot ones don't have the vehicles to move the guns around. But for defensive operations, having RPGs as an anti-tank weapon and the MGs makes them a pretty valuable, versatile unit, so we'll raise 1 unit of that. Don't take any guards. Right now we'll just run foot 3. Guards change the balance of various things, right? So it's going to raise power requirements because the guards are laser troops. We have a power problem, so let's not build. We have a power problem. We have the opposite of an ammunition problem. So let's raise the regular ammunition troops. That's one reason I separated the line of guards from foot. So traditional ammo versus non-traditional. So situations where like, oh, I would prefer more of one than the other. I know what to do. Okay, so we raised a regiment of them. Raised a brigade of them, made up of 5 regiments. And then I'll start deploying them over this area. So we can sort of get the unit that's already down here together. So to support that, we'll start strategically moving these guys into position. And then once I get the old unit in the area spared from their position, I'll probably go ahead and upgrade them also to grenadiers. So with 5 here, probably do a tight picket. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, just about do a tight picket north of the lake here. With the new 5th? No, 6th infantry. That'll allow me to pull the rest of the second down below the lake. And if you ever might actually have logistics, I might be able to just upgrade them in place instead of having to pull them back to do an upgrade. Not quite ready yet for shooting. You don't have... Yeah, you don't have the range to do the air recon after moving. So we moved him up closer, so he'll be ranged to do air recon. These guys do have a range attack, so let's take a little bit of a poke with the range attack. You use our copious ammunition. It's probably not going to do any damage with this level of reconnaissance, but... You don't have the action points, you don't have the action points, okay. And that, for the moment, is going to be the turn. Unless I need some replenishments. Check replenishments for a cycle of the turn. Yeah, we're good. Let's cycle the turn, and we'll see how bad the power is next turn. In theory, I just dropped my power requirements by 900, but apparently we're short 1300, so probably not enough. We are seeing a little bit of fighting in the Fog of War, so that's probably meaning we're starting to run out of border on our west between us and a major, which I think is more of a incentive to get moving. Because we can figure out what sort of major that is. Maybe that'll make the front safe. Maybe it'll make the front very hot. We'll find out in a moment. We get the Reich. We shouldn't see anything from the Reich. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to do. Well, I didn't have the political power to do it, but if I had the political power, I forgot to do it. Was try a unification play on my eastern neighbor. Eastern puppet. Blind state, whatever you want to call it. They've been resisting being integrated for quite a while, but we have no losses nor maiden kills, but we have 5 decisions. Discover some more fuel that we don't need. Volcanic energy tapping, so we could hypothetically get some power from a volcano. There's our Cobra gunship. Ready. Just finished battle dress. And we got extreme vehicles. Nice easy infantry. Yeah, prefer research. Maybe ammo printer here? Yeah, I'm thinking ammo printer here. Most of the robotization things are things we're going to want to do eventually, if for no other reason than to lower our government sort of upkeep, because we won't need as many workers. Turn the workers in the private industry. We probably don't need radiation cleansing facilities yet. Storage isn't really something I usually think about. Yeah, so it's probably ammo printer or echo spike hit.
Aye, aye, sir.
Military research. Missiles are tempting. Else I want more than the missiles. We could do turbojet. Yeah, let's do turbojet. That'll be good for planes, upgrading the planes. What is the testing on our infantry on the foot 3? Oh, that wasn't what I wanted. 50%, so we're not quite ready for that to be upgraded. And the RPGs? Well, we're not quite ready for those to be upgraded, but I think we've got better RPGs. So let's take a look at the RPGs. So we build upon the bazooka. We're using RPG. We now have both guided and heavy. Well, going to heavy and doubling the ammo usage is probably good. Do I want to go all the way up to battle dress? That's a good question, because this will add in 1 machine per guy. I'm going to go ahead and only go up to heavy armor on these guys. I'll come back later to do an alternative battle dress, heavier version of them.
Copy that.
New commander for the 6 Grenadiers. We'll just go assign probably a merc that we had in the reserve pool. Or military guy we had in the reserve pool. Get those guys deployed. We can get these guys repositioning. South of the lake. Looks like we're short an RPG guy. Maybe I forgot to do the replacement last turn. So we saw something that looked like... Yes. Another major. We found the 3rd major. Braunbund. Let's see what we can do. So we got friendship pact with these guys, yes. What do we need for victory pact? It's probably too early really to do victory pact, but we could just roll for it. We could have victory pact right now if we wanted to. Would that make us win? No, obviously not. But that would be the underdogs teaming up. Podium place 4 and 5 teaming up to become podium place 2. We'll hold off on playing that card. Based on this roll, we'd be able to play whenever we want. That way we can try doing it alone victory later on if I feel like pushing it out that far. We'll do cultural exchange.
Affirmative.
Okay, so we don't have the reconnaissance yet on the new Braunburn. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to send the spies, you dweeb. Okay, can't do the spy insertion yet. Okay. Yeah, complaining about lack of recon. It's like that's the whole point of trying to send spies, so they can do reconnaissance for me. I'll give us some more supply to get these guys going forward. I suppose now I'm glancing at the power. Our power actually went back up, so that's a good sign. Oh. Well, that's why the power went up. Why? Usually it's gonna... Okay, so it looks like the way the economy dealt with our power shortages to just turn everything down by like 2%. Which was probably the best way to deal temporarily with the problem. Maybe not the best way in the long run, but in the short run, it worked. Anyway, so we got some arachnids here, an open terrain, and we got our tanks in position. So, tanks, have at ye.
Move it now!
Okie dokie.
Sadly, this is a little bit of mountains here. We can very much threaten to encircle these guys. Sadly, we don't quite have the maneuverability to properly finish the encirclement here. Oh, we're actually taking some damage. I'm guessing we probably... No, it wasn't. Didn't come off the champion. One of the swarmers got us. Let's say it might have come off of the champion, but nope. We're seeing a damage off report off of the standard arachnid from the swarm unit. Move up the advance road. Keep the supplies flowing to where we need them. We could do some reconnaissance here. We'll go ahead and do an air recon run. Nope, no, don't quite have the maneuverability readiness on these helicopters. I may need... Well, I don't need to, but I'm very tempted to push the road forward into the mountain here at the cost of the initial... Well, don't really want to pay 400 industrial capacity for it, but very tempted to. Instead of doing something like this to come around the west side is probably the better idea. Try to encircle what's in the mountain if things are in the mountain. Things are moving. We're going to move this side. Okay. A little low on industrial capacity, so it might slow the construction of the power plants a little bit. We are making good advance on most of our flanks. Before I forget about it, let's... Could try to roll with Desu Reich, but we'll hold off on doing that and try to get the unification play off.
Affirmative.
Nope, still a failure. And then if we haven't finished zoning up, let's go ahead and just get our commercial packs in.
Sir, yes, sir.
Okay, so it's now maxed out for the moment. Don't think we need a clinic anywhere. What else those double plates costing? Aggression pact would be... the difficulty went up. Not 100% sure where the difficulty went up, but the difficulty went up. Did we lose opinion with our Foreign Affairs Counselor? Nope. Happy family. We don't need to play that, I think. Hold that off for bigger emergencies. Yep, I think that's the turn. Go ahead and cycle the turn. And looking at the time, this is probably a good place to put in the first break cut of the stream. So if you've been enjoying this and you're watching on YouTube, there'll probably be another part up tomorrow. So catch you in the next part. If you're following along on Twitch, feel free to hang around. It's just going to be a short break while I mute the mic and go take a quick stretch. Maybe change my drink. I'm going to do that at the end of this end turn, so I'm just going to watch the end turn and see if anything interesting happens. Next turn we should have enough recon to probably open contact if we can't deploy, well, if we can deploy spies, and if we can't open contact with the new major we located, we'll probably have enough info to at least deploy spies, so the next turn we'll be able to open contact with them. So either this upcoming turn or the turn after we'll presumably have a safe border with the new neighbors, as we start to run out of unowned territory between us and the neighbors. And as we did see, we are basically at the point where we could sign a victory pact with one of the other majors. Granted, it's not enough that either of us can win, because it's basically the losers teaming up to take on the majors, on the majors, but it is one way we could potentially delay a defeat if one of the major AIs starts to run away with it. Yeah, because me and the other minor major is probably enough to keep that 25% rule from kicking in. I can see the arachnids are pulling back. Killed 10 guns, have 5 decisions at the beginning of round 132, and this is where this part's gonna end. So I hope you've all enjoyed it. See you all in the next part. Bye for now.